Hello, welcome back. I'm Dr. Kate Mills, and yes, I'm wearing an Ariel sweatshirt to explain to you today why certain balance training works better than others. Okay, so the bottom line is there are three different systems that contribute to balance. The most popular one, the one that everybody uses the most naturally, is vision. Everybody understands that basically. If you're trying to walk around without being able to see the surface that you're walking on or your environment, you can clearly understand how that's going to affect your balance. So the second one is called somatosensory, proprioception. Basically it's the system that uses the nerves in the joints. Let's just think, for more simplicity purposes, the joints in your feet and ankles largely. So even if I didn't have vision, I would be able to tell which side I was leaning more towards because I'm feeling those nerves in those joints are sending a message back saying, oh, there's more pressure over here, and you're easing up pressure on me over here. Same thing with heels versus balls of your feet. That system that communicates through spinal cord and brain, but it's joint receptors that are saying if that joint is being compressed or if it's being distracted, weight lifted off of it. So those joint receptors throughout our body gives us that other sense of where we are in space and our balance, whether we need to go forward, backward, right, left. And the last system is the vestibular system. Housed the peripheral vestibular system. We're not going to get into the central that's in the brain, but just in general terms, the vestibular system tells us where our head is in space relative to our environment, and it is how we can learn how to balance even if we have very impaired vision or maybe completely blind. For so many of my clients that also have neuropathy, whether it's diabetic neuropathy or from unknown, just not related to another primary diagnosis, just neuropathy itself, which means lack of sensation in the feet. So these are a lot of people that have drop foot. They don't have the feeling of light touch, so they're not feeling what's on top of their skin, but they're also not feeling pressure. That somatosensory system is impaired in neuropathy. So if you have decreased vision, and I train my patients to simulate that clearly by closing the eyes, super easy, and I dampen your somatosensory sense, your ability to figure out how much weight you have on your feet because I'm putting you on a soft or compliant surface, then what is primarily left for you to be able to figure out how to balance and not fall is your vestibular system. So that is the system that is most often missed when you do just regular general balance training in a lot of outpatient clinics or just balance activities that you're getting off of the internet, looking up on the Google's machines. If it's an activity that has you touching something, saying try to stand on one leg and hold on to something, that makes sense for safety while you're holding on. I tell people to do that. But just so you understand, if you are cheating with increased somatosensory, increased sensation, you're getting feedback to your brain from your hand now touching something. Why don't I ever have anything to actually, what I mean, touching here, touching there. Then you are actually decreasing the amount of training you're not really doing so much balance training. You are working your ankle in this case. I'm gonna make you guys nauseous by going back and forth because I'm too tired to figure out a basic camera angle and setup of my clinic that works. So sorry. So if you're touching something and you're standing like this, you're working ankle strategies, more ankle strengthening than leg strengthening than balance. If you're doing it without touching, then you're definitely working on balance. If you're doing it without touching and closing your eyes, now you're really honing in on vestibular training, which is what most of the population lacks because nobody ever actually focuses on vestibular training. So, wowzer, that's gonna do it. So that is the basic explanation that I was teasing a little bit for anybody who cares about why the activities in the corner that I had shown you guys on foam with eyes closed, all those variables are important to a well-rounded balance program because you're teasing out the 3 different systems and not just teaching your body to rely on one system for balance. That's how we get into trouble because then it's low lighting in the evening or in dawn, dusk, or you have a temporary, even visual impairment, and now you're way off balance because you've never trained your other 2 systems. So, all right, for those that made it all the way through that, good on you. Thank you for being here and good night.